Hey everyone, welcome back to Girl Talk. Thank you so much for joining me. Before we get started, if you could give me a like, thumbs up, comment, all that other good stuff, I would appreciate it. So today I want to talk about the Natalie Shirilla and Chris Cuomo interview that was done. I believe it was yesterday. That's when I saw it anyway. Um, and boy, oh boy, do I have thoughts on this one. Um, I think we all saw this one that Steve did, and he completely tanked the interview. Nobody can argue that fact. I mean, completely just bombed it. And his mouth was going a mile a minute. Chris is trying to ask him questions. We got Natalie, saying, say this, don't say that, don't talk about this in the background because she, quote unquote, wasn't camera ready. Um, I don't know what that means. I mean, did you not do your hair and makeup today, or what does that mean? Um, but anyway, um, and he just showed no remorse. You know that he was just downright pissed off because his little angel of a daughter, who could do no wrong, got busted. Um, so Natalie appears. Was it any better? And I want to be very, very careful here. The tone was better. I think she came across calm. Um, that might be the only thing she did better. Excuses were given. Um, was there remorse shown? It was said, but let's not forget about this. Those text messages between Mackenzie and Dom were released, and there were a lot of them. I didn't even listen to all of them because there's thousands of them. I've seen the videos where, she's saying, you have so long to open this door, or I'm breaking the fucking door. When Dom wouldn't let her in his house. His house, not hers, his. Um, and we've also heard the jail phone calls. And I'm a little bit confused here, so maybe you can fill me in. Do you remember, or have you heard the jail phone call when I believe Mackenzie was still in county and she was being moved to prison? And from what I gather, the Russo's house and their house are very close together. And when Mackenzie was moved to prison, Natalie had said that they would move to be closer to her. And that way she wouldn't, quote unquote, have to drive past that damn house every day. Let that sink in for a minute. So she didn't feel guilty then. There was no remorse then. She didn't feel bad for the families then. The only thing that she felt bad for was her daughter. So now all of a sudden, now we feel bad. Okay. So let me back up for a second. And I know I'm going to go all over the place here because this just drives me crazy. Personal note. In 2013, I lost my brother. And he was 7 years ahead of me. So, it was the opposite. He was my big brother. Um, he was kind of like Davion was to his siblings. He was my protector. He was the father figure. He was the one that was with me from day one. And unfortunately, his was due to health reasons, not anything like this. So I am definitely, definitely not comparing at all. But I can tell you this as a sister, um, the grief is awful. And as a parent, I have always said, and I have never been in this situation, and I pray to God every day that I am not. But should something ever happen to my daughter, I think I'm done. I think I would throw in the towel and that would be the end of me. I don't know how you survive it. I don't. And I feel so bad for these families. And one of the things that really, really got me and pissed me off was when Natalie said that she would, if they would allow her um, to help them or to, talk with them or whatever. And she said, I would be probably to the point they would get sick of me. I would ask them, do you need anything at the store? Do you need any help? Do you need this? Do you need that? Let me cook for you. Are you fucking kidding me? I can tell you as a mother and as a sister, and I want to say this before I say what I'm going to say. I do not condone violence, so take this with a grain of salt. Don't actually do this. But I can honestly tell you, you do something to my kid like that, and I hear those phone calls, and you are making a mockery out of my grief, which is exactly what Mackenzie has done, and it is exactly what Natalie and Steve have done. They have made a mockery out of the grief of those two families. How fucking dare they? How dare they? Um, Anything would happen to my daughter, and that family would come up to me, they'd get a fucking throat punch. Don't come near me. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Don't apologize. I don't want an apology from you. You're out of the equation right now. Now I want your daughter. And again, I don't say that as a violent thing because I don't condone violence. So I just want to make that very, very clear. But here's the thing. And I wish Chris would have really commented on those jail phone calls a little bit more than he did. And if he did, please correct me. Maybe I missed it. But let's not forget, and I talked about this before, Mackenzie still has her tablet. The tablet that school age children, some of their families can't afford to even, you know, have it for school. She can get a bachelor's degree. Let's not forget, there's people out here that would love to go to college. And even with FAFSA and, financial aid, they just don't have the money or the means to do it. Get a bachelor's degree in jail. Let's not forget, we can get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and do our hair and our makeup and this and that. What in the hell happened to our justice system, guys? What is going on here? It is supposed to be a form of punishment. It is a fucking vacation. And then you have the mom saying, oh, I'm so glad you can do that. I'm so glad you can do this. I'm so glad. I'm so happy for. Did you get your books? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? And you know what? Here's the other thing that really, really got me. Was Natalie wants to say, let me help you, this and that. And was it sincere? No. And we all know that because, she tried her best to cry. But there was no brutzing. And when I say brutzing on Pennsylvania Dutch, that means crying. So if you hear me say that, it means crying. Anybody can hold a tissue in her hand. We can dab our eyes and all that other good stuff. But in the end, it was a show. It wasn't a good show, but it was a show nonetheless. Um, my question is, why isn't Mackenzie, if she is so upset and so remorseful and so incredibly sorry and so mourning the loss of her boyfriend and her friend, why is she not the one saying, you know what, mom, how about you do this? Instead of putting commissary on my books, give it to the families. How about you donate it to Dom's sister, who is starting a foundation for Dom? How about you give it to Davion's parents and siblings? Not one word has been said about that. The only thing that they are doing is mocking two families that are grieving. They need to stop doing these interviews and they need to stop kissing their daughter's ass. That shit needs to stop. Um, I'm completely dumbfounded. Just completely dumbfounded. And I know I'm going slow here and I'm so sorry. And if you stuck with me this long, maybe you're feeling the same way. What in the hell is going on here? And as a parent, if I, I don't even want to put myself in that position because I just can't even imagine. But if it was my daughter that did that, I think I would have to go silent. I would be horrified. I would be terrified. I would be like, oh my God, what just happened? You know, you just ruined families' lives. And here's the other thing, and I think this is the most important thing. You know, when I say that they are mocking the grieving families, the reason that I say that is because of this. If there are ever in-person visits, they will get to maybe hug Mackenzie. They can write to her. Let's not forget about that tablet. They can FaceTime. They can text. I think they can text. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Um, they can talk all the time. Um, Dom's family, Davion's family, they don't get to do that. They'll never get to do that. They'll never get to see what their children and their sibling were able to do in their life. They'll never get to attend weddings. They'll never get to see grandchildren or nephews or nieces or what have you. They don't have any of that. But Natalie and Steve, your daughter does, and yet you still make a mockery out of the grief that you have put these families through, and that makes you a fucking piece of shit. Just like your daughter. And that's my thoughts on that, and we'll see you next time. Let me know what you think. See you guys.